Welcome to another episode of the Apocalypse. Congratulations for unwisely choosing the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that very fucking exhausted guide, Nicholas. Can't even speak. Struggling to form words here. But there's a point to that. There's a reason for that. Don't worry. There always is. I don't believe that there's really any accidents anymore. Okay, before I get into tonight's lesson, class, something popped up in my feed on YouTube today. I wasn't looking for it, but dealing with what I deal with, it's not surprising that it popped up. I don't know that much about Romania. I've heard some things from someone that lives there in the past few years. That's about all I know. And you know what news has been reported in their election, Vlad trying to take the country back over, install a dictator like he's done here, that he just utterly owns. That's what they were trying to do in Romania, if you remember. They almost succeeded too. Sad after what I'm about to tell you. So they had a dictator for about 25 years. And he was a straight up dictator, and they were straight up 1984 in that place. And he was hated. Just like Donnie, as time went on, hated more and more and more, pulled all the same moves Donnie's pulling. Got a 25-year Reich out of it. All that Reich means is empire. So, towards the end of his power, he was a little older, him and his wife. He had his 25-year run. The people had about enough. They were protesting. The leadership of the country was getting worried. They staged their own, of course, fake, MAGA-type protests or MAGA-type consecration of his power. The signs were printed up by the fucking Reich, and it looked all formal, the whole crowd up front, thousands of people. And he began speaking. While he was speaking, they tried to storm the fucking building he was speaking on a balcony. Thousands. Protesters behind it. They had speakers in the crowd playing applause noises and cheers because he was hated. Literally, speakers. So as he was speaking, there's a protest going on behind the fake whatever facade he's got in front of supporters. They were getting in the building. They were doing all kinds of things. His security kept coming to him while he was speaking. They're in the building. He got the military to kill a bunch of people that day. But it didn't stop. And they kept coming and coming. There was a lull for a minute, and they thought they had it handled. So after his speech was over, he went in with his main people, and they had a meeting. What the fuck do we do about this? We're on the edge of losing everything right here. So the protests continued. They were breaking in. They were getting closer. The leader and his wife had to flee in a helicopter with some other people who they let off part of the way during the flight. They landed, ditched those other people that were there, just went with him and his wife and the pilot. And they made it to a location. But by then, the military had joined the protests and the country was pretty much lost. So some military, some high-level people show up where the new president and his wife finally made it to. Because they didn't just have a nice, easy flight to where they were going. They sat him down. They told him, your reign's over. We're going to have a trial right now. The trial lasted 2 hours. There were no witnesses. There wasn't much evidence presented except what everyone already knew that he had done. I imagine the trial was somewhat like the sham trials he probably had people go through for 25 years. And boy, his wife didn't like that. There was a lot of yelling and indignation and how dare yous. They got treated just like the fucking fake sham trial people that they, you know, probably had put to death. God knows what he did to people in 25 years. After the trial was over, they were declared guilty. They were taken downstairs, out back, put against a wall, and fucking executed. It was filmed. It was shared with the entire country. I'm telling that story for no particular reason. In the span of hours, the man went from giving a speech as dictator of the nation to firing fucking squad. And they had to do it like that. You know why? It's the only thing you can do with a dictator. Because if you show him any leniency, if you lock him up, well, he's just going to try and get back in power. And they always seem to find a way, don't they? Then all those deaths and that protests and all that work that got done would be for nothing, right? Right. You know, like what they did with Donnie. After he staged a coup and tried to take over our nation forever. They didn't lock him up. They sure as fuck didn't execute him. Look where Donnie is now. Right where he always wanted to be, him and Satan, ready to destroy the entire world. If you think that's a joke, son, you just don't know. Will we have a military execution of Donnie and Melania and all that? No. That's not where this thing's going, son. This thing's going to the battlefield. The most famous battlefield of all that every human on this planet knows the name of. And that's the only place it's going. And that's where the executions will take place. Not by man, though. By something much worse, son. The guy's name was Nicolae Ceausescu and his wife Elena Ceausescu, executed by firing squad on Christmas Day, son. 1989. And the footage of their trial and dead bodies was released to Romanian and global television. That was necessary. It even talked about in the documentary at the end the psychological effect it had. Damn right. There's a reason that has to be done sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. This time it had to be done, and the whole country needed to see it. To let everybody know, if anybody wants to fucking try this again, we got a wall for you. And it ain't at the border. You know, instead of letting the guy who staged the coup to try and be a dictator for life just skate at his golf club on taxpayer dime, even when he wasn't president. Too late now, whole world over. Over, over, over. Thanks, Rubes. Thanks, Greedy at the top. Don't worry, it's coming to bite you in the ass too, son. It's already bit so many of you, rich and poor alike. Look at all you rich scumbags paying that tribute. This is the first thing I saw today. The pock-faced, spackled wonder puppy killer. This is what it looked like. I'm sure you paid for every inch of makeup, and by inch, I mean inch thick, and every inch of extensions. Because when you don't eat, you lose your hair, son. That's simple. Whether you man or woman. So Welker is asking her, and of course the go-to for all these pathetic 3-year-old cunts, men and women alike in the Reich, is deny it at first. But then Christie realizes, oh, well, Donnie's not going to cover for me, so I might as well just admit it. The DOJ said in a court filing that when the administration was ordered to stop sending migrants to El Salvador, you personally made the call to continue the flights anyway. Do you acknowledge that? Now, remember, before I finish this, the judge did an emergency ruling. You can't send these, I forget how many it was, Venezuelans down to El Salvador to the death camp. Christie sent them anyway. And she admitted it several times here today. She should be in prison. Some of those men tortured, raped. I'm sure some of them died. But what do you care, right? Right. We have court filings going on, decisions that are going forward. I'll let them continue play through that process. She's trying to not answer the question. Automatic response when these people get caught with a federal offense, a felony, whatever they've committed. They learned that from their daddy, Donnie. He does it today, too. Wait till you see what he does to Hegseth, says about him. Exactly what I expected. But did you make the call, Welker says. The decisions that are made on deportations where flights are my decision. Yep. Yeah, we know, honey. We know. Good of you to admit it for The Hague. I wonder what she's going to say when the man asks her about it. I wonder if the man's even going to waste time on these people. He might not even dignify them with a comment. They might just get deleted right away. That's what you don't understand. We talk of heaven and hell since the beginning of time. I talk of being and deletion. That's what I talk about. I'm a little different. That's what the lake is, son. That's deletion. That's what Christ means when he says names that are not written in the book of life or are blotted out. That means you don't exist. So I guess you better get the fun in now, huh? Because when you take your last breath, however that fucking happens, you will cease to fucking exist as if you never had. And the saying goes, it's all fun and games till that fire hits your ass. It's not a joke in the slightest. Ask Christie. Now I have a longer kind of another more context with Welker and her. Welker, the DOJ said that when the administration was ordered to stop sending detained migrants to a mega prison in El Salvador, you personally made the final call to continue the flights anyways. Is that correct? Christie, the decisions that are made on deportations where flights go or when they go are my decision. Yes, we know. I'm surprised you admitted it, though. Here's the thing about these people. Why are they admitting it out loud? Because they know they're going full Reich at some point. No one's taking them out of office. No one's arresting them. Not going to fucking happen. I'm sorry. And they know it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have admitted that on camera. Several times. So you're saying it was your decision. The judge wanted to ensure that people were given due process. Did you defy the court order? No, that's one of the things we continue to face across the country are activist judges. Whether you think a judge is an activist or not, that's not a goddamn answer. That's also not a justification to send a plane full of men to their fucking deaths. It doesn't justify shit. Hegseth calling them narco-terrorists. That don't save you, man. And Petey, you most of all, you gonna be crying the loudest, son, on the banks. I know it. I know it, Petey. I'm gonna be there with you to see it all. You better drink all the beers you can now, son. Blow up all the fishermen you can now. Drop all the memes you can now. Because the only meme getting dropped at the lake, son, is you. Miss Snowman and her felony, she should be in prison for sending a bunch of men to their deaths when a judge said don't send the flight. She said fuck you and just sent it anyway. In a just world, a judge would say, okay, fuck you in the slammer. Some genius made this, and they are a genius, because it works, baby. So perfect. There are geniuses on the internet. Emperor Donnie. These are the 3 major drug dealers that Donnie released right here. I'm going to read you their info quickly. For those great moments when MAGA tries to tell you this is about drugs, as if Donnie wasn't a cokehead his whole fucking life. As if Pete isn't on coke too. And various forms of hard liquor. Trump pardoned these people in 2025. Ross Ulbricht, January 21st, founder of Silk Road, online marketplace for drugs like cocaine, heroin, generating 200 million in sales. God, if only you MAGA people would have ever stood for something in your life or believed in anything. Maybe I wouldn't be reading this right now. Maybe we'd still have a country. Maybe it wouldn't be the apocalypse. Maybe you wouldn't be destined for the lake. Juan Orlando Hernandez, November 28th, former Honduran president convicted of leading a narco state trafficking tons of cocaine to the U.S., sentenced to 45 years. By tons, that's 400 to 500 tons. But I know the fishermen down in Venezuela, they're the threat, right, Rubes? I'd watch if I were you, because I'm a lot smarter than you. I would watch if I were you, cheering on the mass murder of fishermen and people in boats down the Caribbean. I'd be real careful how loud you cheer about that, how much you meme and joke about it. I know Pete's a lost cause. I'm trying to save you, though, son. A little bit of burning. I'd be real careful how much I laugh about that stuff. Because the man's watching. Just like Santa Claus. Zhangpeng Zhao, date unspecified, Binance CEO involved in money laundering for drug traffickers and other crimes. Why'd they get out? Oh, well, they gave Donnie money. That's why. That's simple. So I guess what's going on down in Venezuela, Rubes, really isn't about drugs, right? Right. You're just stupid, and you're Marx, and your country's over now. Okay, here's them asking Donnie, and this is an audio clip, because sometimes you get the audio of the closet plane interviews that are so goddamn cringe with the turbulence and all the bullshit. So they ask him about the drug trafficker that he pardoned most recently, because we gotta clarify which one. That's how crooked your bitch of a messiah is. Can you explain why you would pardon a notorious drug trafficker? What's Donnie's go-to response when he's caught with his hand in a cookie jar? I don't know who you are talking about. Yes, you do. He's going to prove it. Juan Orlando Hernandez, the reporter says, many of the people of Honduras said it was a Biden setup. Wait, you said you didn't know anything? You didn't know who? Yet you had a whole talking point ready to go. Oh yeah, Donnie's lying his fucking face off again. He knew exactly who he pardoned. You know why? Because the check cleared. Many of the people of Honduras said it was a Biden setup. Oh, the 400 tons of coke he brought in, that's a Biden setup, right? And of course, his initial response, just like Christie, when she got the question that could send her to prison, I don't know. What are you? Christie went the route, well, it's an ongoing case, so I'm just going to let it. And then she just finally said, whatever, I might as well just admit it. Donnie's not going to cover for me. And I know we're going full Reich anyway. So what difference does it make? A Biden setup. And again, first he said, I don't know, what drug trafficker? Oh, that was a Biden setup. Wait a minute, you just said you didn't even know who the fuck we were talking about. Donnie is an adjudicated defamer, and he's the anointed of the devil, and the devil's the father of lies. Now you know why Donnie lies so much. As he breathes, son. We've said that about a lot of people, too. You may have said that about one of your friends, joking around. It's never been true in the history of mankind before this thing. As he breathes, there is a lie that comes with it. That ain't even a fucking exaggeration. This is somewhat just a meme. It's difficult to pity Trump voters when their common thread is, I knew he'd fuck people over, I just didn't think it would be me. Yeah, I've been yelling that for 10 years. I noticed that pattern about you people. A lot of you that I met online back when the Cornell thing was going on. I noticed a lot of you that were right-wing, you didn't give a fuck what was going on with, happening to other people. You would say things like, well, I'm doing okay. That's why your country's over, son. I'm very sorry. You chose it. I did not. Don't be mad at me. All over. Your plans you think you got for the next 5 years? Bury them. Forever. Because it ain't going to happen. And again, I'm sorry to tell you that. But you chose it, son. I did not. I'm just the guy fucking livid about it. Because I know what it all means and where it's all going. And one more time, I really need to say this again. I should say it every night. If you were one of the motherfuckers in the death camp at fucking CCOT getting fucking cornholed, you'd understand what I'm goddamn saying, wouldn't you? How fucking dark down the road we are already. Wait till you see, son, how much darker it gets. And that's all of them, every single one. You heard them, roundups, I'm going to go after these people, these people, these people. You loved it. Or you said, well, I'm doing okay. He's not coming after me. Oh shit, now he's coming after me. That's what people like me were yelling at you for 10 years. He gonna come for you too. Everyone. And, you know, we've heard how many MAGAs for these past 10 years as their lives got ruined by the very vote they fucking cast when everyone begged them not to do it. Yeah, again, they're crying on our shoulder. I didn't, or they're just saying outright in general on social media, well, I knew he was, you know, going to go after people. I didn't think he was going to come after me. That's why learning history would have been valuable in your life. Not brainwashing, not Twitter, Facebook, Fox News, all the things you've wasted your goddamn pathetic life on. Straight history. Leave the goddamn political beliefs out of it, right, left, whatever. Because Hitler didn't give a flying goddamn fuck about political beliefs. He believed in power and the devil. And I want to rule the goddamn world. I don't care who I got to lie to, what deal I got to break, who I got to kill, what I got to steal. That was Adolf Hitler. All he ever wanted was a foot in the door in every situation. And if you gave it to him, you're over. Russia's a perfect example of that. They made a deal with Germany as they did their blitzkrieg through Europe that, oh, we won't interfere. We won't come to Poland's aid or any of that. Go for it, man. Once Hitler got a little comfortable, he said, now it's time to fuck over Russia like I've always planned, and then he invaded Russia. And a lot of Russians died and suffered greatly. So it happens when you make a deal with the devil. This is Donnie, once again. The one question about pardoning the drug trafficker, I don't know who you are talking about. Sure, Donnie. As if he didn't have the check in his pocket right there. So now they're asking him about the Pete Hegseth and the strikes and all that. No, I wouldn't have wanted that. Not a second strike. Pete said that didn't happen. Lie, 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 lie. Yes, Donnie. It was Donnie and Pete's idea to do all this shit in the first place. And the first boat that Pete blew up, if I believe that's the one that had the survivors, Donnie watched that footage that day. He knows exactly what happened. He's probably the one that authorized all of it. I know Hegseth is. Him and Donnie started this whole plan. They hatched it. They designed it. It's based off of Donald Trump's orders. Then Pete Hegseth's orders. So Donald Trump is a mass murderer. Pete Hegseth is a mass murderer. That simple. So now that the whole world's yelling about the illegality of it, now that we found out that there were survivors hanging off a boat because some source leaked it, because these people are more hated by the second. Now it's, oh, well, I wouldn't have wanted that. Really? The guy that talks about killing people every single fucking day. I'm not buying it, Antichrist. Yes, Donald Trump would have wanted that. He did want that. Yes, a second strike. And no, Pete didn't say it didn't happen. He said it didn't happen after the news story broke, I'm sure, a few days ago. Of course he said that. But Pete already watched the tape. Donnie already watched the tape months ago. So this fucking act, I ain't buying it, son, not for a fucking second. Donnie saw the backlash. Donnie saw that he's a mass murderer now, and people are saying it. So, no, I wouldn't have wanted that. I'm a nice guy. I'm a man of peace. No, Donald Trump hatched this entire plan of blowing up boats and sending messages to the cartels. Are you saying there was no second strike? I don't know. I'm going to find out. But Pete said he did not order the death of those two men. Yes, he did. He ordered to kill them all. That's ordering the death of those two men. Donnie ordered Pete to do all this. And they both watched the tape the day it happened. Now he's going to find out. Fucking liars. They both sat and watched it. They've been joking about it day after fucking day. Now when the world finds out they blew up survivors on Pete's orders, now it's Pete's running around. Oh, that didn't happen. I didn't give that order. Donnie's running around. Well, I wouldn't have wanted that. I would have said stop. No, Donnie, you wouldn't have. You're going to say stop when you're halfway in the lake. No one's going to listen, though. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd like to ask you out there the question, all two of you. Do you believe for 1 second that Donnie didn't watch that fucking explosion and that second strike on those men the day it fucking happened and him and Pete didn't laugh about it? Fuck out of here. Donald Trump is a mass murderer. Pete Hegseth is a mass murderer. And I'll say that to their fucking lawyer. And I got the footage to prove it thanks to fucking drunk-ass Pete Hegseth. Thanks to the Reich wanting to document all the fun, just like Adolf, right? Fucking bullshit. They got Donnie with this question. I was like, oh. Donnie talks shit on Tim Walz saying he's retarded. Reporters have been bringing it up. I assume Mr. Walz did an interview somewhere or something where he said, can we see the results of your MRIs you keep getting? Because there's probably something with your, wrong with your head, right, son? The reporters brought it up. And Donnie pretended to field the question like, okay, I know that motherfucker was about to lose his fucking mind. Walz called for the release of your MRI results. They right in his face asking him this, son. They right there. And I know Donnie was about to stroke the fuck out the second he heard that question. They can release it. It was perfect, like my phone call where I got impeached. What were they looking at? For what? Releasing? No. What part of your body was the MRI looking at? You fucking mongoloid. I have no idea. It's just an MRI. It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Yes, it was the brain. How do I know? Donnie said it wasn't. That's how I know. Donnie knows exactly what the reporters mean by this. He's trying to be like almost cordial about it. I know he's burning inside answering his fucking question. I can't believe the reporters asked it. Holy shit. This is Donnie at the gates of heaven, and there's a sign there that says, "What do you think of our wall?" Donnie won't be standing outside the gates like that. Donnie will be standing on the banks of the lake. He won't even see the gates, son. This is interesting. I did not know this. ABC News reporter Jonathan Karl, in his book Retribution, Donald Trump and the Campaign That Changed America, released October 28, 2025, claimed that upon arriving at the hospital after his assassination attempt in July 2024, Trump's first questions were, how's it playing? How does it look on TV? Of course. It was theater, right? He was trying to win the election based off of it. Again, that ain't me saying that happened. That's Mr. Carl, who wrote a book. And I doubt he would write that if it wasn't true, because he'd get the shit sued out of him. I don't remember hearing about Donnie suing Carl for this book, so I guess it's true, huh? I think so. Donnie talking about the ballroom again from today. One of his true social money laundering. Presidential ballroom, which I am building at the White House, which all private donations, nope, and funding, zero cost to American taxpayer. Nope, you will pay for every inch of it. Every fucking inch of it. And I promise you that. Why do you think he's saying it? That's Donnie knowing he's stealing your money for this, wanting to assure you that he's not. Why does he need to keep reassuring you he's not using your money for it? Because he's using your money for it! And we'll end with this. Mass murder memes, right? Funny, right? Right, Pete? Enjoy it now, little child. This is a Pete Hegseth post for your Christmas wish list. So this is how serious Pete is taking him being a mass murderer. And we all knowing, finding out about it. Not that I didn't already know. Franklin targets narco-terrorists. You can call him whatever you want to call him. You're still a mass murderer. And you're a drunk. And you're a bitch. You can't even do like 2 pull-ups. And you got nothing else to do all day but work out, relax. You don't do any work. And you still can't do 2 pull-ups, son. It's fucking pathetic. So, Pete Hegseth, the mass murderer, as we find out, and Donnie, I forgot to point out, Donnie threw him right under the bus. Let's go back to that for a moment, Pete. I forgot to make that point. Let's read this again. No, I wouldn't have wanted that. That's that second strike. Not a second strike. Pete said that didn't happen. Are you saying there was no second strike? I don't know. I'm going to find out. But Pete said he did not order the death of those 2 men. What did we just witness here? Donnie's saying, I don't know nothing about it. I didn't. I'm just Mr. Nice Guy. Me and him didn't devise this entire plan to blow up boats and steal Venezuela's oil. Everything's on Donnie's orders. Always. You know he's a control freak. He complains about JD interrupting him. Doesn't treat him like an emperor. You're witnessing Pete Hegseth go under the bus. I know, Pete, you thought you were special. Margie thought she was special. Leon thought he was special, put up 300 million. None of you are special. Donnie throws everyone under the bus, including Pete Hegseth, including Kristi Noem, including Pam Bondi. With Pam, he'll do it right in front of all of us. By a social media post, because Pam ain't arresting people fast enough. Miss Bondi, Miss Noem, Mr. Hegseth. I hope you understand when you go around and commit all these illegal acts that you should be in prison for. If it comes down to you or Donnie, you know it's going to be you. Every day and twice on Sunday, right? You probably don't know that yet. I think Miss Noem realized that today. I don't think Pete has realized yet. According to this, once again, one of Donnie's millions of crimes that we've flat out caught him, mass murder. I don't know nothing about it. I wouldn't have wanted it. Pete said it didn't happen. I'm going to find out about this. Pete Hegseth right under the goddamn bus. Jesus Christ, you people are fucking pathetic. Give up whatever life and reputation you have for this fucking maniac. And the second he gets the chance, you go right under the motherfucking bus. Incredible. Now back to this. Once again, Mr. Privileged Kegseth never had to work a hard day in his life. Is more of a Fox News contributor than anything else. He's memeing about his mass murders. Because Pete Hegseth is a mass murderer. And Donald Trump is a mass murderer. And Donald knew about all these things that happened. He watched the video. He jokes about it every day. So Donnie jokes about his mass murders on camera in front of you over and over again. Pete Hegseth memes about his mass murders. And I'd like to end with this one more time. Donald Trump is a mass murderer. Verified. Pete Hegseth is a mass murderer. Verified. Have a wonderful evening.